What's up, weirdos?
What is up? We used to have a segment on the podcast in season 2 called The Kitsch Corner, where we examine some artifact of Christian culture, often kitsch American evangelical culture.
Yeah, that's kind of our home base, and we feel like you can kind of tease your own people.
Yeah.
So
a little harder than the others. And so we're going to continue that series. We didn't continue it in the podcast. We're going to continue it on the YouTube channel.
That's
so
right.
Here we are.
Yeah, so yesterday I sent Brian a headline that, and it's just this, of a story called Pastor Builds Monster Truck for Jesus. I love this story. There's so much here. But the story is basically that a man it's pretty on the nose. He built a monster truck for Jesus.
The story is right there.
Yeah.
In the headline.
Yeah, let me just get your thoughts on that, Brian. Like, what immediately do you think of?
Well, I think of being a child when I was into monster trucks.
Oh, yeah, monster truck rallies.
Look, confession, I'm not a car person. Okay. I'm not a car guy.
Okay.
I'm not into machines. I'm not into snow machines or snowmobiles. I'm not into motorcycles.
What about jet skis?
Nope.
No, nothing. No
just
vehicle?
like the roar of a motor does nothing inside of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has no appeal to me. My wife and I have been married for 17 years. We've only had 2 vehicles in the entire 7 years. We have a Subaru Forester and a 2000 Toyota Corolla.
Oh, but that Corolla probably means a lot to you, though, right?
Yeah.
A lot of memories.
We have it on a do not resuscitate order. You know what I mean? Do you ever have a car like that?
We had a 1990 Honda with no AC. We lived in Tennessee for 8 years with that car.
Oh, that's brutal.
And we left it in Tennessee. We sold it to a friend for $1, and our friend called it Death on a Cracker. Oh. That was the name of the car. It was actually a dangerous vehicle. So yeah, I'm not a car person.
Yeah, so to me, when I hear Pastor builds monster truck for Jesus, I'm just like, I'm fighting it. Inside, there's a war going on. I'm like, oh, geez, don't look down on it. Don't look down on the monster truck, because some people are really into motors and loud sounds and big trucks.
That's true.
I'm not one of those people. It's not me.
Yeah, I'm not either. I don't really care very much about what kind of car I drive. I think that's pretty obvious if you ever see me pulling up somewhere. Yeah. But what I was fascinated by was the idea, because I don't know that he's a pastor. I think maybe oh yeah, pastor he is, never mind. What I was fascinated by was this idea that you would use the thing that you love the most in the world as a vehicle for getting some important message out. There's a lot of precedent for doing that, actually. I come from the Foursquare Church. I was raised in that, and the founder of the Foursquare Church, a woman named Amy Semple McPherson, became really famous in the early 20th century for having a car that said on the side, "Jesus is coming soon, get ready." I'm pretty sure that's word for word. Yeah, and so she just went around the country in that car. So it kind of seemed like the equivalent to me.
Well, I think there's something very American about the car, too. Like, we invented the car. Americans kind of invented the road trip.
Right.
I think, made the road trip an element culturally of what we do and who we are. So the fact that cars would become loaded sites of meaning for Americans, not to mention status and so on. I spent some time in southern Germany at a conference recently, and the Germans, I will tell you, Germans out there, the Germans are on a team when it comes to their cars.
Really?
Every car, over 90% of the cars were black.
Interesting.
And, a lot of German car brands, obviously, and just European car brands, but it was a very uniform car look, but we celebrate differentness in our vehicles. You go into the American highways and there's just a riot of colors, and just
that's right.
You see like a car color and you're just like, why would you have a car that's that color? And so we love this idea of just car expression, I think, generally.
That's true. So what do you think the message of this monster truck for Jesus is?
Well, I think it's it's probably, do you know where this was located? I mean, I could see it being in any state or any place, but I think there are some places where Christianity is more publicly a part of people's entertainment culture.
Alabama.
Think in the South, I think. I lived in Missouri for 5-6 years, and so moving from Missouri to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts to here, and then growing up in the Midwest, I had a chance to see how deeply ingrained Christianity is into entertainment culture, particularly in the South and the Midwest, in ways that would make coastal people feel deeply uncomfortable.
That's true.
So I become a kind of coastal person, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, do these kind of things trivialize the the very faith they're meant to promote. To me, they do, but I don't think they do to the person who made it at all. Obviously, no one would do that trying to trivialize their faith. I mean, I think it's a very earnest kind of gesture.
Oh,
of nothing
certainly,
else.
certainly. In fact, if you read through the article, it's actually a very personal experience for this pastor, and I think it's something that he loves, and he also loves Jesus, and so it is a way of displaying that. But I think that also he knows that there's a spectacle associated with it,
right.
and that's a part of, I think, a part of the American revival tradition is making a big scene, right? Like causing a spectacle and then using that as an opportunity to talk about something that you find to be very important. And one of the things that I thought of, because I also thought of monster truck rallies, I am of the socioeconomic class wherein that was really awesome, and
that was a thing.
Many people wanted to go, but not all could afford to go. Because they're kind of expensive, I think. I don't know. I've never actually been to a real one, but so anyway, the monster truck, that to me signified. Well, it reminded me of this group from the 1980s called the Power Team. Did you ever know about the Power Team?
Yes, actually, yes. No, I didn't right away, but now it just clicked in. Yes.
Yeah, they were basically bodybuilders for Jesus, and it kind of had a similar aesthetic where it's like, you know, I'm imagining. There's a soundtrack to it that's like whoa, 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 whoa,
totally.
you know, rock and roll, and then you cause a big scene. So I think that's a part of it. He doesn't mind the attention, is what I'm saying.
I think the word spectacle should make a comeback in religion, or spectacular.
Yes.
Those are great religious words. Use the word spectacle in your religious vocabulary this week, friends.
Bonus points if you do.